guys, welcome back. It's Missy. Today I thought I'd share this candle with you that I just got. It smells like a man's cologne. It's so crazy. It smells like something you would get at Macy's. So if you like cologne, like man scent, pick up Palo Santo at Bath and Body Works.
But we should light it. I feel like I sound like the beginning of a Lil Wayne song when you lights are born.
Today I thought we would talk about negative self-talk and negative thoughts and how they affect us and how to deal with it. Why are you crying? Come here. What's wrong? You crying? I also gave my dog a really bad haircut last night. Come here. You want to show your haircut? Why spend $60 when you can do it for free in your bathroom? So you may be wondering, why do some people struggle with negative self-talk and thoughts and other people, they don't seem to struggle as much? Well, negative self-talk comes from childhood. So you may have been around family members that were really negative, or you saw them put themselves down a lot. You may have been put down a lot by your family members or even your peers. Or something else that starts negative self-talk is when something bad happens in your childhood, you then believe that you are bad, because as kids, we don't rationalize and reason things. That's why they immediately will internalize things and feel like things are their fault. They don't have the skill to realize sometimes it's not them. So we immediately think things are our fault and we did something to cause it. So if something negative happened in your childhood, you will then think, oh, I deserve bad things to happen to me. And so you will feel or worry that bad things will happen because it's what you're used to or something started it. So that starts as a young kid. Now, as you get older, you will continue to focus on negative things. You will worry about negative things happening, or you'll feel like negative things will always happen, which then leads to negative self-talk. It started as a young kid and now you've dealt with it for so many years. Your brain is now naturally trained to think negatively. We have neural pathways, and every time you have a thought, it strengthens that neural pathway. So whenever you have a negative thought or negative self-talk, it strengthens that pathway. So naturally, when you have thoughts, they will immediately be negative. Although that happens now, you can retrain your brain and strengthen neural pathways that think more positive, that have more positive neutral thoughts. When you focus on negative thoughts or negative things, it then leads you to make more negative decisions. So if you're afraid of something happening, you will focus on that fear, and sometimes we can cause our fears or negative things to happen because we're so focused on it. It leads us to make negative decisions. Is negative self-talk something you can get past? Absolutely. Since negative self-talk is a learned behavior, you can unlearn it and learn the skill of how to not have so many negative thoughts. You can't always prevent negative thoughts. You can't control what thoughts come in. You can only control the thoughts that you entertain. Similar to with the door. You can't control who knocks at your door, but you can control who you let in. So that means that if a thought pops up, which is something you can't control, like I suck, instead of continuously going into that thought about how much you suck, because that's what happens with negative self-talk, you will keep going into it, and then you'll feel bad and it will prevent you from doing things. Instead, you recognize that thought and you change it. So how do you change it? First thing is to recognize when you're having negative self-talk. And you may be having a lot more negative thoughts than you realize. How you recognize it is by journaling. Journaling is really helpful. Like if you notice yourself starting to feel bad, you can go back to that negative thought and start writing about it. So that would be really helpful to do that for a week. Just kind of always journal your negative thoughts and you'll recognize a pattern. Then when you're having those negative thoughts or then when you're having that negative self-talk, challenge your thoughts. Let's say a negative thought you have is that no one likes you. Well, what proof do you have that no one likes you? Did people directly go up to you and tell you no one likes you? How do you know no one likes you? What proof do you have? What evidence do you have to back up these thoughts? And not just things that you're telling yourself, but actual facts. Is this a reality that's happening? Or is this something that you are just telling yourself? And then say something positive, say the opposite. Well, I know that my mom likes me. I know that my best friend likes me. Something that's really helpful is to look in the mirror and list 5 positive traits about yourself. If you're having a hard time with this, you can ask a friend or family member to tell you, what are some good things about myself? And it's not just important that you say it. It's important that you believe it. And how you change your beliefs is by closing your eyes and imagining yourself as that thing. Imagining yourself as smart. Imagining yourself as funny. When you imagine yourself as these things, it changes your belief system because your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. So when you imagine it, it feels like reality, which then changes your beliefs and you feel good. It's important to feel it in your body, not just, I'm cool, I'm smart. You don't want to just say it. You want to say it with a belief. You want to say it with the intent to change. It's also important to remind yourself, if you wouldn't say it to a friend, then don't say it to yourself. Keep yourself in check. We sometimes say the worst things to ourselves, and it's not okay. You wouldn't say those things in public, so it's not okay to say it to yourself. And it's really important that you self-soothe. So when negative things are happening or you're saying negative things, you turn it around and you say, it's gonna be okay, I got this, I'm really smart, I can handle anything. Saying affirmations and reminding yourself that you're gonna be okay and that you can do it. I deal with negative self-talk all the time. Before this video, I was telling myself, oh, you can't do it, you have brain fog, you can't even say the right words, and I was just spiraling. And then I stopped myself and I was like, you got this. You can do this. You know things. You got things to say. Sometimes you gotta hype yourself up and self-soothe and call yourself out. Another thing that can be helpful is to give your negative thoughts a name. And then name the positive thoughts your name. So what you're doing is you're disassociating the negative thoughts as not your own, and you're associating the positive thoughts as your own. Because a lot of the times the negative thoughts we have in our heads are not our own. They may be, like I said, family members. They may be classmates that have bullied you. They may be teachers. They may be just other people, things that you have heard from your childhood. So you want to name that name, like whatever you want. It could be Mildred, it could be Tabitha. Sorry if your name's Mildred and Tabitha, nothing against you. Just name your negative voice. And then after you've named your voice, like, that's Mildred again coming in, trying to tell me these negative things. Have yourself come in, positive you, Tommy, Keisha, whatever your name is, you're the positive, and you say, I'm gonna be just fine, and I got this. I've done a great job. Who's to say that I'm gonna fail? Challenging and saying those positive things. Another thing that helps is by visualizing yourself getting through negative times. So not only do you want to fight against the negative thoughts, sometimes negative things really are happening and it's hard to cope through it. So you may be having something negative going on and it helps to think positive, but it also may be that you need to know how to get through it. So what helps is to close your eyes is to first recognize when you're having that negative thought again. And something else that can help is just saying cancel, cancel, cancel. Just canceling that thought out. It can be really hard once you start spiraling, once you already feel those negative thoughts. That's why cancel, cancel, cancel really helps when you start to spiral, because it's like, pause, wait a minute, I gotta switch things up. Cancel, cancel, cancel helps you to recognize like something's going on here that I don't want. And it's important that you don't completely avoid your thoughts, because trying to avoid them represses them, and then they just come out later tenfold. It comes out in anxiety, panic attacks, depression. So you don't want to do that. When you tell yourself not to think about things, you'll think about it even more. So you don't want to tell yourself not to think about anything ever. You want to make sure that you deal with it firsthand and then correct it, because you're retraining your brain. You originally always thought negative, and you're retraining your brain to start to think healthier or even more positive. So try to visualize a really difficult situation, and then visualize how you're going to get through that situation. It doesn't mean, you don't want to imagine some happy ending, because that's not what it's about. You want to imagine the reality of it, and you want to imagine how you're going to get through it. When you visualize this, it will help you to be able to conquer negative situations. Something else that helps is envisioning throwing your negative thoughts away. So let's say you're being overwhelmed with a lot of negative thoughts. What you can do is you can close your eyes, put all your negative thoughts in a box, and then imagine yourself putting in the trash bin. Dealing with negative self-talk is a journey. It's not a destination. It's something that you will continuously have to cope through over and over again. You may notice as time goes on, you'll deal with it less and less, and it may be less and less intense, but sometimes just negative thoughts pop up, and you learn how to deal with them better, which then helps you to feel better. You may notice it will take less time for you to get back up, and you may notice them happening less and less. The key is to cope, because again, you can't prevent the thoughts that pop up. It eventually become a habit. And these things take time. You've been this way for a long time. You've had negative self-talk and thoughts for a long time. So it may take you a while to get back up. You're retraining your brain. You're correcting the neural pathways. And I talk further about those things, and I'll post my blog down below of that article where I go more in depth about the things, because I'm definitely a better writer than talker. And it will be hard at first. So how you deal with negative self-talk is, first you recognize it, so journal about it. Then you challenge it / you encourage yourself, you self-soothe. You can do visualizations of visualizing yourself getting through negative times. You can envision yourself throwing it away, and you can name your negative thought and replace it with a positive thought that's you. What do you guys think? How do you deal with negative thoughts? Leave it all in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and definitely share it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye guys. Why spend $60 for the same exact haircut when you can do it for free in your bathroom? Challenge if it's an anxious thought. No. Oh wait, I forgot the review. You forgot the review. I forgot the review.